Life in the big city can be likened to a jungle, with its fast-paced and bustling economic activities. And yet, what distinguishes us humans from animals is our ability to look beyond ourselves and focus on the most vulnerable amongst us. This is the story of the abandoned. Port Harcourt, the center of Nigeria's oil industry and the capital of Rivers State. It's a land of opportunity, so much so that traffic congestion and inconvenience for motorists is an opportunity for young children to hawk items and clean car windscreens in order to make a quick buck. A group of young media entrepreneurs decide it is high time the story of the street children is told.
When we go to the Morala Center, it was an eye-opener for us. What we saw there blew us away.
Met up with the people, and from the first visit, we were really, moved by what we saw. Stories of how these children ended up in the home, and the great work that the sisters were doing at the time really inspired us.
So they came to the center, and we started talking to them, interacting with them, interviewing them. From there, they were able to share with us the challenges that brought them to the streets. One told us how the stepmother was beating him and he smashed his face on the iron rod.
In 2006, that was 10 years ago. I was staying with my father in Lagos, Burokiri. So my dad, he got married to another lady because what he told me was that my mom separated, they separated because they have small misunderstanding. Then sometimes my father used to go to work, he will not come back. He will not come back for a week. Then she'll be doing different things. That she may steal money and say that I'm the one that stole it. A year ago, he took me to a place called Obia to stay there, and that place is church. It's all the Cherubim Church. Then let me just say the pastor there is a friend to him. So they now told him that I'm a winch. That is why I used to spoil the family, this thing. Then my father now asked me, I said no, that I'm not a winch. Then he was not threatening me, saying he's going to kill me, he's going to do this. Because of the fear and everything, I decided to lie to him that I'm a winch. Then nothing that I'm going to take cement water. That is cement. I'm going to drink it. So during that process now, they now brought my auntie, the one that I said she's the one that initiated me. When they now brought her, she was not telling them that she did not know anything. And within me, I know that she's saying the truth. But because of the fear and everything, they say she's going to drink the cement water.
I've been in the Marilag Center from the year 2007, when I was formerly on the streets due to circumstances, poverty, no money to afford for school fees and the rest of things with my shelter. So I had to hustle on my own to look for a living. So I found myself on the streets. Okay, I started from the place called Yamzun in Burokiri. That was where I was living. So from there, we strolled down to my own. Started life from there. We begin there. We start hustling, sweeping the market, looking for a living, carrying loads, do one thing or the other, just to get something to put in the stomach. Most of the times, you can't pass the night outside there because of what the government, police can never give you a rest there. They say call us sort of names like criminals, that we are, according to them in quotes, akanakba, we pickpockets. So when we come to this place, we do to explain ourselves to sister. So they introduced something to us called human rights. They were going to work with human rights, that they will supervise us, anything going on within the streets, that we should keep in touch with them.
It dawned on us that if we were to make a lasting impact, the radio campaign should be well documented. About a week into the Give a Child Hope campaign, Sister Carol is invited for an interview on the 3 radio stations.
So the campaign took off on the 7th of January. We're appealing to our listeners to donate stuff. And honestly speaking, for the first couple of days, I was nervous because people weren't really bringing in things as I thought they would. So I was making calls, calling artists, hoping that people would come and support the campaign. And my friends are telling me, calm down, over some time to pick up. By the next week, everything started to take off. Items were rolling in. And I was like, wow, okay, this is looking good. And they just kept coming and coming. My colleagues started getting more and more excited because I had colleagues on Nigeria Info, Wazobia FM, and of course Cool FM making these appeals to their listeners to donate items. They were getting more excited. Everyone kept asking me if I had seen the stuff that people were bringing in. I was like, yeah. So the excitement just started to build up. And at some point we felt it was only right that we brought in Sister Carol so that the people listening can hear from her and she can tell some of those stories to the listeners.
After 2 weeks of the radio campaign, we had received a huge quantity of items ranging from foodstuff to clothing items, toys, and so on. The day had finally come to hand over the donated items to the Marillac Center.
So on the D-Day, that was the 23rd of January, Saturday, we didn't know what to expect. A couple of our colleagues from Wazobia, Nigeria Info, and Cool FM all came along with us for us to officially hand over the items that we had gotten from the listeners. And it took about 3 vehicles to move all the stuff there. But lo and behold, when we got there, they were prepared for us. They prepared a little events just to welcome us. The children came out to dance, to showcase their talents. It was really a big deal for us because, you know, we thought we'd just hand over the things and leave, but they wanted to really welcome us as special guests, which they did.
These kids are everywhere. We come across them every day. Like I heard about the case of these kids, that's children who sell pure water sachets on the streets of Port Harcourt. I hear we got to find out from the Marillac Center that some of these things are actually a small unit of a very large, complex, organized system. A child labor organized system.
There are many of them here that are selling pure water, and in that pure water they are being punished. One of them shared with us, we even called the policeman here, we wanted to go, that when they give them water to sell, and he sells, he did not finish all the water, he must not return back with the water. And the madam, they call them madam, told him that he should come at least with 1,500 naira every day. Whenever he sells the water and it is not finished, he will have to pour the water away, beg people money to add to that particular amount. And any day he fails to get that amount, then that day the woman, the madam, we called the bigger boys, the street boys, they will beat the child. After beating that child, there will be no food and the child will sleep outside.
So it is just a group of young people who believe we have certain small tools at our disposal that we could use to make the world a better place, and this is what it is that we just did. So we implore everybody else out there, I know your busy schedules, I know we've got our own problems, we've all got our issues and everything, but if we all reach out, if we all use that little that we have, that nothing that we think we don't have is something to someone else. If we can all just reach out, if everybody decides to give and live for someone else, just a little bit of help to the next person, the world will be a better place. Nigeria will be a much better place. The bridge between the haves and the have-nots will be built. Let me rephrase it. If everybody develops a giving spirit, there will be no have-nots in society, because everybody will have a little something. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who supported this process, everybody who gave their time, who gave their gifts, gave their cash items. We implore you, it doesn't have to be through us. You don't have to stop there, because this problem is still there. You can always go back to the Marillac Center or find any home or any organization, any charity organization around you. It doesn't have to be an organization. Look at your neighbor, look at those kids on the street, go to your village or go to the next person, just anywhere around you. Just, they're less privileged. They're the people who need help. There are people who need help around you. Just see what you can do. Reach out, give a helping hand. and let's make this world a better place. Thank you.
Despite the success of the radio campaign and filming of this documentary, sadly, the story continues. Within our society, factors such as lack of education, poverty, abuse are forcing children onto the streets to fend for themselves. Homes for orphan children are in dire need of support from individuals and groups. As we struggle for our survival, let's not forget what makes us human, our ability to look beyond our desires and consider the needs and wants of those who need our help. Because whether we want to admit it or not, there are still lots of them out there.